Hi! This instructional video is about writing a linear equation given 2 points on a coordinate plane. Oops. This is supposed to say standard form. Speaking of which, to write in standard form, remember the general form of the standard form? It is written as ax plus by is equal to c. And we talked about graphing using the x and y intercept in the past lessons. So let me show you how this works. Okay? To write this in standard form, there are some things we need to find out. When you're given 2 points, you have to find a slope. You see, for example, if you had to graph these 2 points, negative 3 and 3, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This will be 3 and 3. And then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2. So the line will be like gradually going down from left to right. So what's the slope of that? Well, to find it, we're going to use the formula m equals y of 2 minus y of 1 divided by x of 2 minus x of 1. Now, how do you know what numbers go in here? Well, you have to label your first and second coordinates as x1, y of 1. Then guess what? Yeah, this will be x of 2 and y of 2. It's a second order pair. So now let's just plug in the numbers that we have labeled. What's y of 2? Well, that's 2. Minus y of 1? Well, that's 3. Divided by x of 2, which is 7. Now be careful here. Minus x of 1 is negative 3. Look at that. 2 negatives. So now, when you evaluate, 2 minus 3 becomes negative 1. You have $2 in a bank. You take out $3. You actually owe the bank $1. Now, your teachers have taught you long ago, negative and negative, when you multiply, becomes positive. So that's like saying 7 plus 3, which is 10. So in fact, this is your slope. And check this out. This is like saying go down 1, run over 10. Down 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Run 10. Now you have the slope and you have a point. You have a point and you have a slope. Now you have to use a thing called point-slope form. Yeah, this one takes a little while to work on. Now you're going to substitute in the numbers for all the variables. Y is the variable y, minus the y sub 1 is 3 that I labeled. And that equals m, which we just found to be negative 1 over 10. Times x minus, be careful, x1 is negative 3. Okay, now we're going to rewrite this and simply evaluate this guy. Y minus 3 is equal to negative 1 over 10 times the quantity of negative becomes plus. Now, if you see a number outside of parentheses, you're supposed to do the distributive property. So you go negative 1 over 10 times x, negative 1 over 10x. Negative 1 over 10 times 3, negative 3 over 10. And what's on the left side? Y minus 3. Now, I'm going to solve for y to make it into a slope-intercept form first. So add 3 to both sides of the equation. So we got y is equal to negative 1 over 10x. And here's a tricky part. Let's flip this around. Let's put that bigger number on top. 3 minus 3 over 10. Now, back in elementary school, your teachers taught you this. How do you subtract the number from the whole number? Well, you have to have a common denominator, which is 10. So this, in fact, can be written as bar the 1 whole. So it's 2 and 10 over 10. That's a 1, isn't it? Plus the whole number 2 becomes 3. Minus the 3 over 10. So 2 minus no whole number is 2. 10 over 10 minus 3 over 10 is 7 over 10. So that is positive or plus 2 and 7 over 10. Now, this is my slope-intercept form. But what they're asking for is standard form, which looks like this. That means I have to make sure all my x and the y are on the left side and the c is on the right side. So here's my c. To move this, you go add 1 over 10x to both sides. So now I have 1 over 10x plus y is equal to, well, let's make this an improper fraction. In algebra, we use improper fraction all the time. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 7 is 27 over 10. We don't want to leave our answer with a quotient, a fraction. We want to use integer. Okay? So to let that happen, to make that happen, check this out. I'll come over here. We're running out of space. Since we have 1 over 10x plus the y is equal to 27 over 10, ask yourself, what is the denominator here? And that's 10. So what the trick is, multiply the entire equation by that denominator. And when you do the distributive property to all the terms, the 10 cancels this 10 or reduces the 10, leaving you with 1x or simply x. Now there's nothing to simplify here, so it's just 10 times y, which is 10y. And that equals, the 10 here cancels this 10, so 27. And here is your standard form with integer coefficient. Now you try this one. Okay, so so you said, that's a lot of work. Yeah, but you can do this. First, let's do this. Let's label this as x1, y1. Then this will be x2, y2. Let's use the slope formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And let's substitute all the variables. Y sub 2, I labeled it as negative 5. Minus y sub 1 is 1. Over x sub 2 is 2. Minus, be careful here now, x sub 1 is negative 4. So when you evaluate the top, negative 5 and negative 1, it's like saying you take out $5, take out $1 more, you owe the bank $6. Now, 2 minus negative 4, negative, negative, when they're side by side like that, it becomes plus 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And negative 6 over 6 simplifies to become negative 1. So that's your slope. That's your m. Now you have your point, you have your slope, so you're going to use the point-slope form. And we're going to substitute all the variables with the known information. So y minus y sub 1, we labeled it as 1. And that equals the slope, negative 1, times x, the variable, minus, be careful again, x sub 1 is negative 4. Well, this one's going to come out nicer than the first example, because when you evaluate the inside of parentheses, you get y minus 1 is equal to negative 1 times x. Guess what? Here's a little thing I tell the students. Oh, look, a stick. Pick up the stick, put it on top here, and you get a plus. I know it's silly. Now, when you do the distributive property with a negative coefficient 1, you actually end up with y minus 1 is equal to negative 1x, or negative x, minus the 4. And to solve for y, you add 1 to both sides of the equation and combine the like terms. You get y is equal to negative x. Well, you owe the bank $4. You put in 1, you still owe the bank $3 more. And this is your slope-intercept. But wait, you still have to make this into a standard form, like this. And like we did last time, where the x comes first. This one's easier. All you have to do is move that negative x. And to do that, you add x to both sides of the equation. So what you get is x plus y is equal to negative 3. There you have it.